The following announcement is paid for by the Wrestling with Nerds.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
This honky tonk man, greatest intercontinental champion of all time, and you're watching Wrestling with Nerds podcast. Yes, that's my favorite. Shake, rattle, and roll.
What's going on, wrestling nerds, and welcome to this week's episode of the Wrestling with Nerds podcast. We are doing some double duty tonight. First, the regular show doing Lilo and Stitch. Go back and check that out. And now, it's the Wrestling with Nerds show. By we, I mean me. Sorry.
What do you get? What do you get? A stitch in your pocket?
The W was upside down, or the M was upside down for some reason. But we are going to talk about the week that was. Some breaking wrestling news today, and Saturday night's main event with a very special, I'll call it a game. It's not Stump the Guru. It's Guru.
Make the guru think?
No, I'm trying to
Speculate?
find a cool name with this. The Guru's What If storyline.
There's a lot of them that can be had.
It's really good to see you guys. You guys held the fort down last week and did a pretty damn good job. With my schedule being as screwed up as what it is, I definitely needed some sleep. I appreciate you two covering. You did a great job. Yes, I watched it back, and yes, I corrected you in my own words while I was watching to myself of things that you said or didn't say right or were wrong about. It's been too far back for me to bring up anything to remember.
Thank God. I'm happy you're not burying us, now.
Yeah. Now you guys did a fine job. It was good to see that I'm not needed all the time to get a show through. So,
I wish I could feel the same.
Well, when you're the guy that punches all the buttons and flips all the switches, you're kind of needed all the time.
It's like I feel like an unpaid intern.
You just make us shake, rattle, and roll, baby.
Nah, that's not us.
But yeah, it's good to see you guys. Yeah, it's been interesting. What the hell? Just set the mood with lighting a candle there, AJ.
There's a reason why I lit that candle.
Yeah, because your ass stinks.
It doesn't. Oh, now it does. And
so,
again. But before we get into this past week, Ryan, you have something that you'll be doing this weekend that our viewers should be on the lookout for with our YouTube and Facebook pages. What's going on in your end this weekend?
I got 2 ring announcing gigs this weekend. If you're in the area of where I am in Maryland, and you're a Riverbend and down in West Virginia, we'll be there on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. And then Sunday I'll be up at Big Bear, which is the Maryland, West Virginia line up on 68. Gonna try to get some interviews with some local indie wrestlers that I work with. Tony Atlas will be around, so I might try to squeeze an interview in with him. I'm gonna break out my new equipment. I got wireless Bluetooth mics. I got this new stand and everything. So I'm gonna try to get some interviews this summer with some wrestlers while I'm doing my gigs with the ring announcing.
He's growing up.
This is Guru on location.
Yeah.
If he Jim Cantors it.
this year I got I got more ring announcing jobs than I've had the last year. I'm really starting to get into it, starting to really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to that coming up this weekend and then the rest of the summer. But stay tuned because I'll be recording them and sending them to AJ, and then AJ will be posting them on YouTube and our Facebook page.
Yeah,
If I find out you got on top of a table and started dancing or something, and we don't have footage, I'm going to be thoroughly upset.
I
that's
don't
not a
know.
table.
Nobody's seen all three of us together, but none of us need to be on top of a table at any point, let alone seeing us all dance would be pretty. I don't want to rip my own eyeballs
Just
out.
for everybody at home, I'm 280 and I'm the smallest.
Shut up. You also have the less amount of hair.
I do have a nice beard though.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to grow up here, and instead it's grown here.
Alrighty then.
I was gonna say you gotta hurry up and change the subject. You better hurry
Yeah,
up.
breaking news as of today coming out of New Orleans. WrestleMania will no longer be held there for WrestleMania 42. Very much speculated that they are going back to Las Vegas. Or Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
that rumor is ramped up a lot in the last couple of hours about it being Vegas.
No Nola.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I already said that if a certain team gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was going anyway. The wife might enjoy a Vegas vacation instead of a New Orleans vacation next year.
Is it because WWE
Don't,
had
don't
such
do
a
it
good...
like the Griswolds.
Do you think it's because WWE had such a good time being out in Las Vegas with...
I don't think it has anything to do with WWE having a good time. It was probably
Las Vegas?
filled the need of what Las Vegas wanted to begin with. Las Vegas wanted them. I would imagine if it's going to be again, it's going to be Easter weekend again. So I would say I believe Easter next year jumps up and back up into March.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get an early WrestleMania instead of a late WrestleMania. But that was the whole purpose of Vegas WrestleMania was they wanted it Easter weekend because Easter weekend is a down weekend in Las Vegas as far as tourists and all that kind of stuff. And bringing in WrestleMania filled that gap of what they wanted. So, and probably in a very big way. I mean, it's probably the biggest boost that town got as far as an outside event. I mean, I can't see the football on a weekly basis.
Maybe the
bringing in that many
F1?
people.
Maybe the F1?
I don't know.
Even-
I don't know F1. Those prices are way too high. It's only the elites that go.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that it was a substantial amount of money brought into Vegas from Wednesday to Tuesday.
Oh, absolutely.
I
I
would
know the
imagine
Super Bowl being out there, there was private jet issues with not enough runway space.
Yeah. So,
But it's that kind of caliber of event that the WWE
and
brings.
if Las Vegas is willing to throw more money at them enough to get them to basically renegotiate their deal with New Orleans that says, "Hey, we're gonna give you a WrestleMania, just not next year."
Mhm.
And just to sweeten it off, we're gonna give you a Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which is what's been the rumor included.
Do you think they're
Kinda
gonna,
like-
do you think they're going to
it's-
do that in the Superdome, or do you think they're going to go into where the Pelicans play?
I would imagine your Money in the Bank will be in the Pelicans arena, but WrestleMania, of course, will be in the
Yeah.
Silverdome.
You know, it might just be me, and I could be completely wrong with this. What?
I said Silverdome.
Oh, yeah, you Hulk Hogan it. Got it. It might just be me, but I wouldn't mind seeing WrestleMania back in an arena.
You're never gonna see it again.
I understand
You're
logistically.
never- The big four, or at least the big three, will never be in an arena again.
It kind of stinks though, because I loved Madison Square Garden.
That may
Loved
be your
it.
only. That may be your only exception. We'd only have to wait 9 more years for that.
Shit, for 50.
I would imagine 50 will be at Madison Square Garden.
I it felt so not like I'm trying to phrase it correctly here. The sound was trapped.
Yeah, but you're gonna get that at some places like the Superdome, and when they're in domed
Yeah.
stadiums, you're gonna get that sound. It just takes longer to get back to them. Whereas, like we were at Lincoln Financial, and the sound goes up, and you don't hear it anymore.
I don't know if they had audio all around that stadium. It felt like because if you're watching it back, it is loud, and you could actually see the camera.
Oh yeah, that stadium was loud at first when things happened and everybody popped, they popped. But it didn't
I
take
don't think
long
I'll
for it to
ever
get
forget Taker's
it,
arrival.
it didn't take long for it to get quiet in our end of the arena or stadium pretty quickly. Um so but I don't ever see WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble you may get in arenas again. But SummerSlam, WrestleMania, both being 2 night shows, I doubt you'll get them in stadiums or arenas ever again.
Oh, night
We're
one
getting
in Madison Square Garden, night 2 in
MetLife.
MetLife or the Barclays Center, since they're basically like a couple miles away.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see, but
Knicks and
It's-
Nets. Those were the two arenas.
it's interesting though if it is back to Vegas, because this would only be the second time in history that WrestleMania went back to back to the same arena. Well, correction. COVID. Well, no. Yeah, it would be the first time since WrestleMania 4 and 5 that they actually went back to the exact same arena. Of course, I was referring back to COVID. They were going to be in Tampa. They did it at the Performance Center. Then the following year, they did do it in Tampa. But yeah, and the funnier part about it is, in the coincidence of it all, 4 and 5, Trump Plaza in New Jersey. Las Vegas, back to back. Who's the president? Trump.
I don't know. Maybe this is kind of like a yeah, we're going back to Las Vegas, and in like a couple weeks we're going to London.
Nah, they're not going to keep playing. They're not going to play games with this kind of thing because they know people plan so far.
Well,
in
yeah, how many
advance.
people you think had already started lining up itinerary for NOLA for next year?
Well,
And
the
now
good
we're
thing
like,
is,
shit.
the good thing is it's so far away. You didn't buy your plane tickets yet because you couldn't. Plane tickets won't let you buy them that far out in advance. You may have booked your hotel, but you probably didn't pay for it yet. So all you gotta do is cancel that.
Yep.
So I mean, it would be one thing if we're talking like October, November, and they're like, oh yeah, we're not going there. That would be a problem. I mean, granted, for us, like for Philly, like as soon as it was announced, we were making plans, but we didn't push our plans. We didn't start planning everything and finalizing everything until January for us. Kind of the
Well, yeah,
same
you
way.
can't. You kind of have to wait for things to be on sale to be able to, hit.
Exactly.
Yes, we will be there.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the numbers yet. I don't know when the numbers will become public on how much money the WWE produced for Las Vegas for WrestleMania weekend, but I would imagine that it was enough for the city of Las Vegas to say we need to bring this back again.
I mean, WrestleMania for the whole
Let's run
week,
that back, baby.
WrestleMania for the whole week brings in what they say 3-4 times as much as what the Super Bowl does for a host city.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I believe Philadelphia was somewhere between, I'm rough estimating, guessing between 38 and 48 million dollars.
Well, you're talking a global
revenue?
brand versus an American sport. You'd think the global brand
the
would.
NFL is a global brand at this point.
It is to a point, but it's still not. People
They ain't
aren't gonna
watching
come-
it where they watch soccer. You know what I
People-
mean?
People may still watch it overseas, but they're not gonna make the effort to come see the Super Bowl. They already
It's
know the
different,
ticket
yeah.
prices. They already know the ticket prices for the Super Bowl are outrageous.
Yeah.
WrestleMania tickets were outrageous until the week before WrestleMania, and then it was easy. Like I literally looked and could have went to WrestleMania this year for cheaper than what we went for 40. Um, and that was on like Tuesday before Mania. So who knows? But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be kind of fun seeing how they play it back differently.
Mhm.
Like, are they going to go back to WrestleMania 41, 42 in Vegas? And is it going to be is it going to outshine 41 that we're going to forget about 41? That would be interesting. Are they going to keep the theme?
As long as they get a new song.
I was going to say, as long as I don't have to hear Fiend again, I don't care. But who knows? It's Vegas. It could be Rock and Cody. It could be who knows? I think we're gonna get Rock and Cody. I think that's where everything's headed towards.
Have they done the new Atlanta Dome yet? What is it? The Mercedes Benz.
Mercedes Benz? No.
Have they done? They haven't done that one yet. I know
No.
they closed out the Georgia Dome. I think. They were the last thing in the Georgia Dome.
Probably. I know they were in the Phillips Arena for 27.
Oh, maybe that's what I was. They were in an arena for 27? I thought that was the football stadium.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the Phillips Arena. Not the I don't think it was the Georgia Dome.
You're probably right.
I could be right, I could be wrong.
No, that it's you. You're
We don't
Probably
have our
right.
we don't have a statistician on pay.
No, that's the intern again.
Other news this week before we get into other news before we get into Saturday night's main event. A very horrific accident happened.
All right, P. Zoe Stark's knee.
On Monday Night Raw during a triple threat match with Rhea Ripley, the returning Kairi Sane, and Zoe Stark.
I was wrong. I was wrong. It was the Georgia Dome.
Gotta
Who's
celebrate the little
the
bit.
intern now?
Well, it was gonna bug me till I looked it up.
Yeah, he saw
yeah,
you
that,
last movie.
Yeah,
that sucked for Zoe Stark a lot.
Yeah,
and
I-
anyone that liked her.
we had this conversation, and I was waiting to hear AJ's thoughts on it because it sounded like he had something really, really interesting.
Kairi Sane shouldn't be around. She had no business being out there. She looks slow in the ring. If anything, if she's going to come back, she needed a heck of a lot more training. Maybe that ring rust was that far into... She hasn't been around for 6 months. What, did she start training back last week? Like, I'm fine. I'm ring ready. Bullshit. You were late to that spot, and I get accidents happen, but you were late, and that's Kairi's fault.
Yeah, I didn't watch Raw live with you guys. I watched it after the fact, and you guys' messages about the injury and everything. So I watched it back, and the very first thing I noticed watching it was you could hear Zoe yell for Kairi, and you could see the look on Kairi's face was, oh shit, I'm in the wrong spot, and she tried to rush to that spot, and by then Zoe was already in the air, and Zoe was trying to adjust to either land on her feet or to land differently, and by the time she got there is the same time Kairi got there, and what happened happened.
And then the next thing you hear is Zoe Stark screaming in the ring.
Yeah, I've heard the scream. I don't want to listen to it again.
It looked like there was no awareness for Kairi. Like, I get it. You haven't been in the ring for 6 months. I understand. There's no reason to rush back. And that possibly just ended.
There's been rumors that it could
Zoe's
possibly
career.
be career-ending knee injury. I believe this is the opposite knee that she had destroyed before. I could be wrong. It could be the same knee.
And
Her
and
left knee. I'm trying to think. It's been so long because she wears pants now, and I don't think she covers the brace up pretty good, so you can't see it.
and this is
I
the
can't
same.
remember.
And I'm the same person that when it happened years ago, I still blame Samoa Joe for Tyson Kidd with that muscle
No,
buster.
that was completely those are two completely different things.
What about Big E?
Kyrie missed a spot. As far as Samoa Joe with Tyson Kidd, the muscle buster was clean. It was just when Tyson landed, his neck exploded.
Rich Holland and Big E.
I mean, you could say that one. I would say is more closer to this whole thing, but that was more of
That one, I think
of
somebody didn't try doing the move. It sounded good on paper. Oh, I should be able to do that. We didn't actually practice it.
well, I don't know. It's not that because they did practice it. It's been said that they practice it, but I don't think they compensated for how much sweat. And when they had the body sweat and he goes to throwing, he slips. And he's too high on him when he goes to tossing. That was the problem with that spot. That's kind of both air. Big E probably should have been the veteran there and stopped that from happening. And then Ridge grabbing him a little higher and not being able to get enough torque on his throw to get him to flip. But I mean, that one's, I would say, less egregious than this one. I've said this since she debuted, and I've said it for the other, and I'm not, well, I don't know how to say this without sounding racist in a way, but the three Asian lady wrestlers, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky, they get so much praise for how good they are. But I have watched multiple matches with these girls in WWE, and when you watch the matches, the botches of the matches are these three girls. One way or another, these three are involved in any kind of screw ups in matches. And I don't want to keep saying botches because I that's a mark term that I don't really like. I mean, I get it. Wrestling's not supposed to be perfect. I agree to that. But these girls always seem to screw up spots where the other girls usually don't. They're usually pretty clean on their stuff.
I mean, Kyrie and Asuka alone, it's like, what?
And that wasn't the only thing in that Kyrie match that was off.
No.
There was other things.
Yeah. And then it was kind of funny how
Like watching Sasha Banks all over again.
It's like and it was funny because I was watching some other YouTubers and some other Wrestle Talk guy people, and their biggest complaint was why bring Kyrie back so she could eat the pin from Rhea.
She wasn't supposed to.
Well, number one, yeah, exactly. She probably wasn't supposed to eat the pin. It was probably supposed to be Zoe eating the pin. But when you take Zoe out, guess what? You become uno facto number one to get a pin. So then you get pinned. I don't see any. I mean, when
I'll say it, I like Io. Out of the three, I like Io the most.
Io has gotten a lot better. I will give her that. She has gotten better. But when Kyrie comes out, I think I'd rather watch AEW.
I wouldn't go that far. But no, Asuka and Kyrie are on my level with equivalent to how bad Sasha Banks is. Or was.
True. I would put Kyrie on that for sure. Asuka can be professional and be very good at times, but it's just like every time it's like you sit back and watch their matches and you're waiting for the botch because you know it's coming. You know they're either gonna slip on a rope or they're gonna be out of place. And I don't know if it's the lack of English communication or what it is, but I mean, clearly Monday night she was completely out of the spot and tried to make up for it and ended up causing more damage than probably what would have occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And now Zoe, who, if you think about Zoe's last, 4 months, she lost one part of her stable, then she lost the other part of her stable, and now she's at home. So it's like, damn, what the hell could this poor girl go through anymore? And I like Zoe Stark. I think Zoe Stark has an upside. They need to figure out how to get back to that. But I enjoy watching Zoe. I wish her well.
Yeah, when
I hope
she was with Trish, I mean, we
recovered.
all thought she had the rocket strapped to her behind.
I thought that was great. Her and
Yeah,
Trish.
her and Trish were great, and it did push her, and it was there, and then it was like a bottle rocket went off and it sizzled out. I don't know if you can catch lightning in a bottle twice with that kind of thing, but we'll have to wait and see. It sounds like she's gonna miss all of the rest of 2025. I would imagine you probably won't see her till at least SummerSlam of next year, judging by the length of injuries. If you think about how long Charlotte was out for hers, I would imagine Zoe's is a complete destruction of everything. So, yeah, I would say Zoe's
And I'd
gonna
love.
be out.
I pray we're wrong. I pray it was just one. It's a simple fix, but it just didn't seem like it. The way it all went down.
I mean, the trainer had to carry her down the aisle into the back. She couldn't put any weight on it at all.
I mean, and that scream was haunting.
Yeah. So, speedy recovery and best wishes and prayers for Zoe with her recovery. Like I said, probably will not see her till at least SummerSlam time next year. I would say, most likely.
If at all.
If that's also very true. The question becomes, now that she's on the shelf, and if they had plans for her, do they bring Shayna Baszler back?
I don't know.
Probably not, but it's just a good theory, good thought thing there.
So let's get into Saturday night's main event now. Coming to you live this Saturday on NBC from the Yuengling Center in Tampa, Florida. John Cena.
Are we picking this group pick 'em, or
I think we're picking this. John Cena, R-Truth. This is not for the title, correct?
As
That's
far
what
as I
I've
know.
heard.
I thought it was for the title.
I thought it wasn't.
I thought I had heard them saying it wasn't for the title. Truth just wants to try to make John Cena be John Cena again. I don't know. It was.
No, it just says singles match. R-Truth and John Cena. If it's not for the title, I could see R-Truth winning.
Save it for the pick'em, my guy.
I'll just pick the opposite. No. The only one that I know is watching right now is Hayden.
What else do we have on this card? Is this the Logan Paul?
Yep. Jey Uso, Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. John Cena, R-Truth, and Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match. No women's match.
What was the? Did anybody else catch? Something with Logan Paul and Gunther.
If
no,
Logan Paul wins the
Gunther-
title, Gunther's coming after it.
Well, no, Gunther has a rematch for June 9th Raw. So
Phoenix,
whoever's
Arizona.
whoever's the world champion is going to face Gunther for the world title on Raw.
And
Is
then,
my understanding.
And then, no matter what the end game of that, the Visionary is got dibs afterward.
Which June 9th is 2 days after Money in the Bank. So that kind of tells me that they might not have a World Heavyweight Championship match on Money in the Bank, and that they're saving it for the Raw following.
I would be I wouldn't be shocked if you don't get either championships defended at Money in the Bank.
Wow. Okay.
Just like the
I don't-
mid card and the Money in the Bank matches themselves.
Yeah, I mean you might get Cena, but who are they gonna throw Cena? Who are they gonna throw at Cena for Money in the Bank right after Saturday night's main event?
R-Truth
Is
again,
I
because
say
R-Truth is gonna win.
I say R-Truth pins him, so then he gets a title match. I hope it's the opener because
Let's stop wasting our John Cena appearances. I think we're under.
I
20.
have I have heard very funny uh fan fiction about this. One of them is if you know the Cody Rhodes R-Truth story, that Cody lost to R-Truth like 38 straight times as Stardust when he was about the 24/7 champion and all this stuff. So people have said that Cody's going to return at Saturday night's main event.
At Stardust.
Wipe out Cody or wipe out John, celebrate with R-Truth, then wipe R-Truth out to finally get his one up on R-Truth and then leave the ring. I've also heard that Money in the Bank, we could possibly be getting a tag match with John Cena and that stupid ass rapper guy against Cody Rhodes and a mystery partner. The mystery partner that's been rumored, and I don't see any connection yet, is Bad Bunny.
Just another music person in the business. That's a face, I guess.
But I'll give Bad Bunny this: the dude can at least somewhat wrestle. We don't know what Travis Scott can do yet.
I don't know, but I know he'll come out the Fiend.
I mean, I will literally tell you that Bad Bunny Damian Priest match, one, changed my perspective on Damian Priest 180%, and also is probably one of my favorite matches of the last like 4 or 5 years. I could probably put that in my top 10 of favorite matches in the last 5 years. I actually really enjoyed that match.
That building was popping that night.
That's been rumored to be the main event for Money in the Bank. That's why I said you might not get either one of the championships defended at Money in the Bank. What we don't need for Money in the Bank is we don't need quick cash-ins.
No, let them hold it.
I don't want to see
months.
I don't want to see either one of the briefcases cashed in that night. I hate that so much.
Can I tell you, I'm nervous that one of them's going to be, only because within the last 2 weeks, WWE posted a playlist of same night cash-ins.
I hate you.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I just playing devil's advocate. It's kind of funny that they posted it.
Especially after last year's with Drew trying to cash in and failing.
What's kind of funny though.
It also added to that story though, Ryan.
Well, yeah, we had this argument then because somebody thought, well, that's just a waste of a briefcase. And the truth be told, who was going to cash in the briefcase to win a belt when Gunther and Cody were champions? Nobody was. So to use it to continue the story of Drew and Punk made perfect sense.
What match are you guys looking forward to on Saturday night's main event?
What are the other matches?
If any?
I mean, I'll watch to watch, but I don't even know all the matches yet.
I read them off. There's only 4.
I don't even know. Put it this way: the other 2 didn't register. No women's matches.
Jey Uso, Logan Paul.
I knew that one.
CM Punk, Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
Who's the third man?
Good question. John Cena, R-Truth. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre in a steel cage. I think that's gonna be the winner for the show.
Sorry,
that gonna be the Punk Drew Hell in a Cell of this year?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, the one thing that I'm looking forward to is, are we gonna figure out who the third guy is for Seth and Braun?
Who are you thinking?
Who's the third man?
If
I
you,
mean,
if you have to guess, who's it going to be? And I
I
swear
want
to
to
God,
call up.
I thought somebody was be like, "Well, it's the man, Becky."
if it's a call up, I think it's Ethan Page.
Well, that would be cool.
I think if it's somebody on Raw to elevate them, um, I think Ludwig Kaiser would be a really cool
The other
addition.
one I've heard is Austin Theory.
The Austin Theory one goes back to the whole Messiah thing, but I don't think that lines up good because if you
Austin
watch
Theory's
that,
about to go face.
yeah, if you watch the story between Waller and Theory, Theory's getting cheered and Waller's getting booed. I don't think it could be Grayson Waller because I see, I don't, sorry, I love your name because it's my kid's name, but I see absolutely nothing that guy does that moves the needle. He is so boring in the ring. He's boring on the microphone. I just don't see it.
The
I
biggest thing that for me that he's done is that feud he had with Gargano where he was at his house and like, where's that Waller? That guy was compelling. This guy is a goof.
The one that I think would be fun just to watch it play out, and I don't think it will be the case, but it would just be fun to watch again play out, and it would definitely elevate him more than what he's being elevated already. And if you have been watching social media, he's getting more of an
Karrion Kross.
on sport as Karrion Kross.
I like
That
that.
would be that would be a very interesting dynamic with Cross playing behind the scenes mind game while Seth and Braun do everything else. That would be interesting. And plotting how to take down this generation's Elton John, Macho Man guy, and the Walrus would be very interesting to see. It would be interesting to see only because if you think about, and I brought it up the other week and I'll bring it up again, it was Karrion Kross that turned the time on the bloodline. But what if it wasn't for the bloodline, but it was for Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman was in the ring? It's an interesting concept. It's an interesting thought. Do I think
the formulas and the math problems are now spinning around my
do I think it'll happen? No, because I think they're going to use AJ Styles to elevate Karrion to that next level. That I think by the end of the year, Karrion Kross will be the Intercontinental Champion.
If he doesn't win Money in the Bank.
I don't think they'll jump him straight to the world title picture that quick.
I don't want them to yet.
Hold on. Just because you win Money in the Bank doesn't mean you automatically win the title right there and then. He could hold that title for a long time and win the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, but we've seen that before. We've seen Rob Van Dam be the IC champion and Money in the Bank champion.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
Damian Priest just held the damn case for almost a year.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun to play around with this. Even if there's gonna be a third guy, who says there's gonna be a third guy?
Could be a first woman.
The other one that I keep seeing get tossed around and it kind of doesn't make sense, but makes sense in some weird way, is it Sammy turns on Punk.
I saw that one. It all started with Jay and the belt and Sammy.
Did you guys happen to see the little play thing between Jay and Braun on Monday night? Because you know they're really good friends. Braun Breaker, Jey Uso are very good friends. They were traveling together. They were working out together. They were traveling together.
Going to the Waffle House together?
Go back and watch when Jay pins Braun. He pinches his nipple.
No shit.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But I mean, it's kind of interesting because we're in that area, that time frame that we talked about last year. We're getting ready to get into that early summer lull Can they keep up the momentum, or is it going to die down? And we're not sure what's going to happen. So it's going to be really interesting to see, because they're put that Saturday night's main event here with only 2 weeks to get to Money in the Bank. Are they going to keep this going, this momentum of what they're building, or is it going to fall off a cliff like last year did?
I
Well,
hope not.
before we get into the Guru What If, let's talk about Battleground real fast. Sunday, same place, Yingling Center.
I thought it got moved.
No, the NXT on Tuesday got moved.
Oh, okay. It got moved to Yingling. Or did it get moved back to the Performance Center?
So, Saturday, Yingling Center. Sunday, Yingling Center. Monday Night Raw, Yingling Center. Tuesday was going to be at the Yingling Center. That
But they
got
moved
brought
it back.
back to
Okay.
the Performance Center.
Gotcha.
Hank and Tank versus Josh Briggs versus The Culling, Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Sean Spears. I really like The Culling. I also really like Hank and Tank.
I do too. I see Josh Briggs eating the pin from Sean Spears.
See, I saw Brooks Jensen pinning Josh Briggs.
Or that. Remember, they were a tag team.
That's why I was.
Mm-hmm.
Sol Ruka and Kalani Jordan for the NXT Women's North American title.
I'm going with
Oh.
Sol Ruka.
Does Zarya
Sol.
get involved?
I don't think she gets involved, but she'll be there, and that'll be fun enough for me.
Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo in a singles match.
I think the whole family finally turns on on
And Tony's going north.
Tony. Yep. Yep.
And
I think they all turn on Tony, and then Tony's coming to the main roster.
Yep.
Maybe he could be the third man.
Did TJ not understand what I meant by going north?
Well, I assume you meant Connecticut, but
Good job. Geography
Instead of-
101 with
instead of
AJ and
Tampa.
TJ.
And then, oh crap! I clicked off of it.
You
you're a
dummy.
dumbass.
Stephanie Valkyrie versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I hope it is a 2-hour match that never ends.
I
This is
kind
the
of.
match that never
Okay.
ends.
This is gonna sound stupid.
I hope it goes on and
but hear me
on,
out.
my friend.
I hope Stephanie loses.
Why? So she can come to the main roster?
Yes.
I don't know if they're gonna move her to the main roster yet because they just moved Roxanne and Julia there. They're gonna wait a little bit before they move another person up in the women's division.
But the
I
sad
feel
part
like.
is she's ready too.
I know that, but I think that's why they had to make the move with the other two because they had
Too much.
bringing
How
all
is
them
Michael
in,
Cole going to contain
just-
himself with all these horns?
just just if you think about it, they had the four best, in my opinion, they had the four best women's wrestlers on NXT, all fighting
about-
for the women title.
In any promotion.
No, because I will give AEW credit. The one thing that they've gotten better at is their women's division. Especially if the one that was just there is coming to WWE, which has
Mariah
been the
May.
rumor, Mariah May.
Still trying to figure out where oh crap, what's her name?
Britt Baker DMD?
Thank you.
Evidently she's still in a contract with AEW. She wasn't released.
Okay.
Who knows?
So out of the top 10 best women in wrestling, WWE probably has 6 or 7 of them.
On US television, I would say you're probably right.
Mariah May, Tessa Blanchard.
Well,
Give me another
you
one.
said
I mean, Tony Storm has
Tony Storm,
has
there you
killed
go.
it in AEW. Sorry.
Okay.
I hated the time.
Thundertits.
I hated the timeless gimmick at first, but the more and more I keep watching it, the more and more I like it. It's not the 80s rocker chick Tony Storm that I fell in love with a long time ago, but it's still really good and it's very entertaining. especially
Like,
the fact that she keeps.
Vaudevillain thing that she is hilarious.
But I love that she keeps it up for when she does interviews and stuff of that nature with fans and stuff. She keeps the whole Marilyn Monroe type gimmick up, and I like it. The Megan Bain that's in AEW, she's very good. Um, she's a bigger girl, not Nia big, but she's just a bigger woman. I think she stands like 6'2" or 6'3", and she's really good. What I think at the top of that list is definitely is still Charlotte and Rhea, number 1 and number 2, if not 1A, 2A. I would say, and if you haven't noticed a difference in her matches since WrestleMania alone, but Tiffany Stratton has turned it on. I think she's doing her match against Nia.
There's no problem doing that for
Her match against Nia was fantastic. I love that match. I thought it was really good. The chair
Man,
spot,
works one program with Charlotte Flair, and it's like,
the chair, like she has this. It's weird because like if you go back and you watch her before Charlotte's match, Tiffany is going through the motions as the WWE Women's Champion. I'm the champ. I'm just going through the motions. I'm not really the women's champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Ryan, you can't be insinuating that Charlotte Flair would have helped somebody in this division.
I mean, that's where I'm going with this because now you look at her and she knows she's the WWE Women's Champion, and she's like the confidence level on her. You can see it through her actions, not just.
But Charlotte Flair doesn't help anybody, Ryan.
What do they say, Ryan? Some people the title makes the champion. And
yeah,
it's sometimes the champion makes the title. I think that match with Charlotte changed that.
Exactly. I would say the same thing. Before WrestleMania, the championship was making Tiffany, and now Tiffany is making the championship what it is. And I like it. Like I said, I don't hate Nia Jax. I know a lot of people hate Nia Jax. She does her part. She's the Braun Strowman of the women's division. Only she still has a job. But that's besides the point. But she does her job. She gets the girls over when they need to get over, and she dominates them when it calls for her to be the dominating one. The nasty chair shot she took and got busted open instantly, hard way, no complaining, no nothing from it.
Just went backstage and took a picture.
Yeah. I'm really impressed, and like I said, their match last week on SmackDown was probably one of my favorite matches on SmackDown in a long time. I thoroughly enjoyed their match.
Fine. Stephanie wins here, but sooner or later, Jordan's taking that title.
Yeah. I mean, you have to eventually. I can safely say between the three of us, we're not going to care who wins or loses this match.
No. But I could see. Oh.
I'm going to be entertained from watching it.
I could see sooner or later Jordan winning the title and then going immediately into a feud with
I can see her
Fatal Influence.
It's either gonna be
Lash
Fallon
Legend?
or it's gonna be
Fallon.
I could see that. I could also see her in a feud with Izzy Dame from Call It.
Okay.
That could be where that's headed. Lash Legend. I like she just said her name, Lash Legend. She's definitely gonna get elevated to that top level.
Talk about saying somebody's name. Oh, wait, hold on. Time out. Gotta do that again.
Say his name
there it is.
He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Against Trick Williams for the first time on a WWE programming.
That man threw a remote control car at Moose's nuts.
He threw a Dreamcast at him.
The TNA World Championship is on the line against Trick
Threw this
Williams.
off camera for a reason, and then the Dreamcast.
The video game nerd in me is more pissed that he broke his Dreamcast. You know how hard them damn things are to find?
I thought that was great. Moose is all like,
I can get 2 in
and I
about-
can't be doing this on
well, not
camera.
now.
That's why it's over here. But just boop.
Over
Low
over
key,
under
the-
50% Trick is winning the, or
I
I'll
don't
give
know.
it 60 or 70% because if this is happening on NXT, Trick might be winning that. And if rumors are correct, Joe's in a contract year.
Well, I made the statement the other week that I don't think TNA will be TNA much longer anyway.
NXT TNA?
I think it'll be NXT Canada.
Canada?
They filmed the show in Canada.
Do they really?
Yeah,
Why did I think they did that in Atlanta?
because you don't think.
Or Universal
I don't know.
Studios?
This is just because where they used to do it years and years ago. When it was owned by Dixie and them, they were in Orlando. Now they're owned by Anthem, which is in Canada. If sometimes they do, I think somewhere around Nashville, sometimes too. I don't know. This is one of that's one of those fun thing about this whole TNA NXT thing because you're so used to
It's still based in Nashville, Tennessee.
that you're still so used to whoever is gonna win whoever's the whatever champion of show is coming in, they're winning because they're not going to change the titles. This very well could be that time where they finally pull the trigger and Trick Williams becomes the Impact or the TNA champion.
See, what bothers me, I don't want Trick to do this. I would have rather have this been Oba. I would have rather have seen Oba be a double champion than Trick Williams be a TNA world champion.
No, because as soon as you said that, I thought of the first thing that popped in my head was if you made Oba the TNA and the NXT champion, then this working relationship is exactly the same as the AEW and TNA.
Kenny Omega collecting belts from all
Yeah.
over the damn planet.
It's the same thing with Kenny Omega being the AEW champion and the TNA champion or Impact champion at the same time. You're basically squashing TNA as a whole, and I feel like this working relationship between NXT and TNA has worked for both companies way better than the AEW one ever did. And the moment you would put the title on Oba that he'd be a double champion, everybody that is a WWE hater or NXT hater or TNA hater is gonna say, "Oh, look, they're just doing exactly what AEW did 3 years or 4 years ago."
They're gonna bitch anyway when Mello's bitch is gonna win the title.
They're gonna who?
Mello's bitch. Did you not watch Tuesday?
No, I was like getting there.
Trick Williams came out and did a full rap about Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, to close the show, did one of his concerts, and all you are is Mello's bitch.
Good. Let it be. Let that be what happens. I'd be all for it. I'm for this finally starting to work in both directions. I'd be perfectly fine with Trick being the first person of a WWE
jump the
contract
border.
to be in it to be a TNA champion.
Especially if it could possibly lead to Joe Henry versus Oba.
I think Oba's got enough on his plate that Joe Henry's not one that he needs to be worried about.
Either way, can we get the man in the game? I don't even play it.
I'd be-
Oba's got to worry about Stephanie Valkyer's boyfriend on Sunday.
Too many people are dating too many people.
Oba's got to worry about mini Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And then you had the LFG guy.
Mini Randy Orton would be a
I
fun
forget
one
what
with
the-
Seth
I'm
Rollins.
sorry, I'm blanking on what his name is.
Yep.
Um,
Couldn't help you.
shit. I really liked him at the beginning of LFG, and then I kind of stopped watching LFG till it was over with to watch it all.
I never even started.
I'm going to binge watch the whole thing because the whole thing looked cool, but I hate waiting for next week's episodes. Until next time, Batman.
That's what it is. I knew it was Jasper Troy. This dude's a monster. He's somebody that can match up size wise with Oba. So it looks like that's in his on deck circle for Oba is Jasper Troy. It's gonna be interesting to see where NXT goes from here after Battleground.
AAA Invasion Underground, whatever the hell
Oh yeah,
it is.
yeah. That would be next.
Coming.
Would be the AAA
Coming.
Worlds
AAA
Collide.
NXT Worlds Collide. There's been rumors that TNA is going to be involved as well.
From the Kia Forum, June 7th.
Yeah, it's the day after or the same day as Money in the Bank.
And I think Money in
I
the
wonder
Bank
if El
is that
Grande
night.
Americano will make an appearance.
Yeah, the Worlds Collide is during the day at like noon or 1, and then the Money in the Bank is that evening.
Two different arenas. I apologize.
Yeah, because
Worlds Collide is in the Kia Forum in
Kia
Inglewood,
and-
California, and Money in the Bank is in the
Intuit.
Intuit Dome.
which
It
is
would be really
where
funny if
which is where Netflix Raw debuted, was into it Dome.
it'd be funny if it, El Grande Americano is at Worlds Collide, but Chad Gable is at Money in the Bank.
We got a heck of a weekend of wrestling, boys, and I can't wait for it.
Wrestling, racing.
I was gonna say it's a very busy week of everything. It's Memorial Day weekend.
I
Mine
got
starts
4
tomorrow
races
night.
to watch on Sunday.
4.
Yeah. Local show.
Oh,
They're on too, and I want to watch them just as much as I do Indy. Maybe more.
mine starts tomorrow night with Lilo and Stitch.
I
Saturday.
have
I'm going to see that, brother.
I have a independent show to go to on tomorrow night to go watch. Voltage Wrestling. It's here local. They're doing a show. Tony Atlas is a special guest going to be there for that.
I'm getting deja vu.
They have a
from the
really
opening
cool
of the
belt.
show.
They have a really cool belt. Voltage.
Yes,
I've seen it.
Mike Nolan. He's part of the Wrestling with Over Everything page and everything else. Does a great job with his promotion, and he is very hands-on and friendly with the guys that are part of that group. We usually try to all get together when we go to the shows and be together and watch them. I'm gonna go and root on my buddy, him and his tag partner. They're known as Country Club. I've worn their shirt here a couple times. They're in tag action. I've missed out on about 4 or 5 different times to go watch him because I've had to work. It just happens my work schedule for tomorrow night opens up, so I'm able to go see him. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I got a show Saturday afternoon. That one's for club members only at Riverbend in West Virginia, and then up to Big Bear. Looking forward to that. This starts my summer tour of ring announcing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm starting to figure out things and work on different things on that side. It's kind of fun to be actually in this business to a point. I don't consider myself in the know. I'm not. I'm one of those ones that the guy that the promoter that I work with asked me one time. He goes, "You don't get in the ring to do your ring announcing, do you?" And I said, "No."
I don't belong in there.
And he said, "Why don't you do that?" And I said, "Because I haven't earned it yet. Once you tell me I've earned it, I'll get in the ring. Until then, I'm not getting in that ring." So I take it seriously. I enjoy it. It's something that I've done since I was a little kid with action figures, ring announcing and calling matches that way. So it's a lot of fun for me.
Guru got respect for the game, dog.
Yeah, I
If Between
It's gonna be
sports
fun.
and wrestling and movies and racing, we got a busy weekend.
Oh yeah,
Shall we?
you two get to go watch your kid movie there. Your Lilo and Stitch.
Hey, I am contractually obligated as dad to be present.
I'm glad my kid never got into those movies.
The,
Although I
the
did tell him,
eldest and the
although
youngest.
I did inform him that we're getting a Shrek 5 next year, and his eyes got really big, and my wife went, "Oh God."
And now I'm a believer.
All right, for the first time on the channel,
Oh yeah, I forgot we were doing this.
I picked this one, I figured, as a nice layup to get everybody acclimated. Because this should be an easy one.
TJ gets the first pick, obviously, with sending it over to Ryan. It is the Guru What If series. TJ, what are you throwing at our Guru?
Anybody that doesn't know, who's never seen Marvel What If, the idea here is a moment in the history of our favorite business is altered in one way, and it changes, the butterfly effect. The easy one that I chose here first was Shawn Michaels does not get injured in the casket match, requiring all that back injury stuff, and it just goes away. Ryan, what would you have predicted as the momentary change there? The fallout.
Well, I'm gonna go off of what I know. Moving forward, the plan was for DX to get bigger. It was gonna be Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were gonna join Shawn and Hunter as DX was the plan moving forward. I still think Shawn drops the title to Austin at WrestleMania 14. I don't. You may. You
Does
could
Hunter
say.
not get as big as he gets?
I think he does, but it goes the way factions and stables are supposed to work. I think what ends up happening is throughout the year of 1998, Shawn Hunter builds up and gets bigger than Shawn, if that makes sense.
So
On what he's
Hunter
doing.
rocks Farouk.
Basically the same thing. Shawn becomes second fiddle to Hunter. Shawn doesn't like it. Shawn turns his back on Hunter, or Hunter and Road Dogg and Billy say adios. It very well could have been Shawn as the first corporate WWF champion and not The Rock later on that year. And
Did
then
we
you
draw
have
parallels to the issues the current Judgment Day is having with
you
rivalries in the faction?
you could easily say that Shawn would be the WWE champion in Vince's corporation. Makes tons of sense. And it would have been interesting to see the dynamic of DX against Shawn in the corporation and who would have been in that corporation at that time. Would have been the same people. I mean, you figure you go into 98, Austin gets into a feud with Undertaker and Kane and splits off, and then Rock and Hunter go at it all year long. Does The Rock get as big as what he was with Shawn still around? Because they don't like it. They didn't like each other.
He was the
If you
one that
haven't-
was alleged
you
as that
haven't-
one character on the show.
If you never watched Young Rock, the character known as Chad is Shawn Michaels. So does Dewey become the Rock, become the corporate champion? I don't know, because Shawn's still there. I think I think honestly, because I'm not a Shawn Michael mark, I think Vince realizes halfway through 1998 that he ended the contract of the wrong guy, because I think Shawn will create a whole bunch of problems, because whether Shawn was on drugs because of his back and was an arrogant prick, or he was just an arrogant prick, which a lot of people said he was, that would still continue. The drug problem, probably not as much, but being an arrogant prick and thinking you're the best of everybody here, only to drop your championship to vacant when you don't want to drop it to somebody, it creates problems when you're booking stories with that much talent there. So I would
And I think-
say,
So
This
this,
makes me
everybody
wanna
at
do
home, is
mine.
how this segment
Darn.
works. And I think you even opened the door there for another one in the future of what if Brett stayed and Sean left? Don't do it now. We'll save it.
all right, that one was a little quick. So AJ, what was yours?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
What if the Money in the Bank match never existed? How many stars don't get made? Or do they still get made?
Well, I mean, think about it. Who's gotten made off of the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Edge?
Edge would have got there without the briefcase. Edge was on his way there before the briefcase.
Do you think Damien?
Damien's would have been a little bit harder of a push. I don't think you could have instantly put. You wouldn't have thought of Damien as a world champion level without the briefcase. I'll give you that one. Daniel Bryan probably the same way for the most part.
I mean, it obviously changes a lot in history not being there.
I mean, think about
I
it.
mean,
Without the briefcase, how does Seth Rollins become the champion?
We never get the heist of the century. I mean,
Punk? CM Punk?
Punk twice.
one of all of our favorites, Alexa Bliss.
The Miz? Dolph Ziggler?
Miz never becomes WWE champion if he doesn't have Money in the Bank briefcase. Both times.
Carmella?
I could live with
Asuka?
I'd be more happy to see James Ellsworth was Money in the Bank.
Let's not forget, Asuka only got handed the damn belt, basically. It's not like she cashed in.
No, yeah, I mean Rollins cashed in.
Yeah. You gonna be mine? I'm so happy, you mama!
We're getting canceled.
There's quite a bit that maybe never see a championship. But
We could do episodes upon episodes of what ifs, and maybe we will. But I think that's
They're fun.
I think that's a good tease.
Yeah, the Money in the Bank's a great concept when it's used right, but a lot of times, it's used really bad, in my opinion.
And this wouldn't even be a bad thing. We could put a poll out there, or just, you viewers at home, throw us your what ifs.
Why do you keep giving the intern more work to do?
I just want to draw from the crowd.
Yeah,
This business is supposed to be the wrestling universe, guys. Come on.
I love the blank look that he just gave, and the funniest thing about it is that's the same look Jess gives him when he says some stupid shit.
I mean, they're admins on the channel too. They can make the same posts. Do they? No.
We don't even need a post. Just comment your what ifs on the episode. We like it, maybe we'll run with it.
That's if Hayden is still watching. He might be out cold.
We'll but people go back and
I mean, he's sitting here watching and couldn't even give us a like.
What, on Facebook? He's been messaging on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't have that one up.
He's the pink Wednesdays. I'd hate to
Yes.
see what Purple Tuesdays look like.
Ow.
I love how you went straight.
Well, I need to go make a brown Thursday, so let's wrap this shindig, shall we?
Ah.
What the?
All right, everybody. What are you guys looking forward to this weekend of wrestling? Comment below. We'll see it at some point.
Give your normal holiday spiel.
I say that on the All-Star page, not this one.
Yeah, might as well say it here too. That way we're all covered.
Ah, okay. If you're gonna drink responsibly. Call Ryan if you need a ride. He's pretty good at driving hundreds of miles to pick
Probably
shit up
traveling
and drop
up
it
and
off.
down the Eastern Seaboard.
All right. Note to self: phones going on do not disturb.
Notifications are
I will-
silent.
I will tell you people the same thing I tell my wife when she wants to go somewhere and I don't want to go.
You on your own.
Always remember that Uber starts with you.
Intern will be posting Ryan's number in the description for the episode.
No, I don't want to die.
He's like, I want to see my kid.
He would get up to Connecticut in record time just to...
I think he might just come right through with the truck, bud.
All
Shit spreads.
right, guys. Have a good, safe weekend.
Deuces.
See you next week. Yeet.
And he's got the hands on the refrigerator.
It's probably because he's hungry.
No, he was talking about these ones.